Like my fake coughs and made a need like for a real cough.
Okay, let's get some water.
Do you want some water?
No, I'm okay.
I was like getting it for
Go
me,
on.
but if you want some, you're...
Guess there's no water for me.
Yeah, no, you're forbidden. Hello. So this film kind of almost didn't happen.
We nearly forgot about it, to be honest. We're like, oh yeah, we have a film coming up next
and then
week.
we realised it was next week. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So, the criteria for this month was a briefcase, which we turned into a satchel bag,
Lighting
a shift
change.
in lighting,
Yeah.
And it had to be set under a tree.
we had to have one shot under
Yeah.
a tree. So the idea for this film came from that last criteria, the one shot under a tree, because I was writing it and I wanted to do something different. I don't know, I wanted to do something interesting with that. And so this sort of image came into my head of this person in a really shitty tree costume and then two other people sort of sitting underneath it against a wall. In the end, we had to get the tree, Claire, we had to get Claire, our actor, to sit down because of framing issues.
So Freya actually also directed this,
Yes.
if they mentioned.
Yes. I also directed and I also took over the camera for the second day of shooting.
Because I hadn't done cinematography and was feeling like I didn't want to do cinematography, but also that I should do cinematography. I ended up doing it for the first day, but various things happened and we had to kind of swap over midway, so I then ended up doing sound.
So I was on sound and sound editing and editing. But on the second day of shooting, I came down really sick, so I couldn't attend. So Ashlyn had to take up sound, and Freya, while directing, also did cinematography. So the first day, we were shooting in this little garage.
Oh my gosh,
So that was the scene where they're sitting against the wall, talking, like the very first scene. And Freya forgot to mention that your house is directly under a fly zone and next to a highway. So I'm sitting there with trying to record sound. And by the way, we had the garage door open because we're idiots, and we
needed the light.
we needed light.
No, we didn't.
In the end,
if
we didn't have to.
Yeah,
for
if we had
continuity-
started out with having the
Yeah.
garage door
Yeah.
closed, we would have been fine. So we had to keep up continuity with the lighting, and every few minutes when we were doing it, it was just the sound of a massive truck just going right past.
Guys, wait, this truck's... Hold on.
And a bird. It was so
Or an
noisy.
airplane.
Also, not even that, but those two things, plus the fact that you're in a really lovely area, so it was just birds and everything.
Yeah.
It was literally every possible outdoor noise.
Those
was in this
outside
area.
scenes were such a nightmare with sound. There was just birds just going right over their dialogue, and it was
And we just
a
stop,
nightmare.
cut for sound.
There were also slight problems with continuity and actually what was said, which made that difficult to edit it together. So I kind of have strong feelings towards that audio that I recorded, and that feeling is that it was trash.
We were only shooting one scene on that day, but it was such an effort. It took longer.
We also had only 3 hours or something before we actually had to leave. We had something on later in the day.
In the production process of every single film, as we have said, every single BTS, we have had issues getting actors. We've had actors cancelling last minute. We've had to shift things around. We've just had issues all around getting actors. That was nothing in comparison to the nightmare that was getting actors in this film. We had to shift the filming day around a few times to fit with people's availabilities.
Also because we had so many roles for actors.
So many roles.
Which was hilarious because we began by saying we will have less actors than we had the first the time before and the time before that.
Then Tegan, she is an absolute fearless legend with an amazing amount of acquaintances who she is completely unafraid to contact. And she comes in and basically fills up our entire cast in the course of 2 days.
Also acted in it.
She was originally meant to be doing behind the scenes again because she filmed behind the scenes for our first film, but we ended up switching around the sort of crew roles as well and got Daniel to film the behind the scenes and got Amy to be the first AD and continuity. She was a legend. But the morning of the second day, one of our speaking role actors cancelled on us 1 hour before she was due to be on camera at 7 a.m.
What's happening, Ashlyn? So we have just lost one of the main actors. We were meant to start shooting in an hour. She told us with an hour to go.
The universe is apparently on a personal vendetta to punish us for something. Not sure what. But every single thing in this film has gone wrong. She had like a reasonable reason. However, it's a reason that she could have told us several days in advance, not 1 hour in advance.
I found it more annoying the fact that I then had to act. I've now been in 2 of them. This is not the plan. Did not want to do that.
And then on top of that, right, so that day everything went wrong. So
Oh my god.
Kazaya is very sick. She was hit by this like intense freak sickness like yesterday, and she can't get out of bed. Kazaya was sick, so we had to shift around like crew roles. This person dropped out, so we had to shift around crew roles again to find an actor. Yeah. Then on top of that,
That's right. Oh my god, I completely forgot.
To also just further drive the nail into our bleeding hearts, we needed empty alcohol bottles as props because it was like a party, right? So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go dig through the neighbors' bins again. It'll be fine, because I did that for the first film and it was fine. You know, someone's obviously gonna have had a piss up at some point. This morning's bin morning. On top of everything else, there was nothing.
There.
There was nothing there.
It was this beautiful time where me and Freya were just freaking out for about an hour. Oh god. I was like making the sign, the congrats, we done sign.
It was
in the
so
morning.
ironic.
And I was just like, yeah, it was the most ironic thing ever.
After those few hours, it was such a fun day. Like, we had such a good time.
Wish I could have been there.
You were missed.
Can we say though, when I was editing it, there was like so much good banter footage.
SpongeBob is the future of literature. It's either going to be like a 1984 or like an Alice Huxley Breaking World.
With SpongeBob?
With SpongeBob.
Sandy is John the Savage.
If you would like to check out all of the sick banter that went on in the audio when we were getting background sort of ambient noise, I will link you in the description.
It was like different every take, and I was in the
orange peel bit was like phenomenal.
I was in the editing room just like having a crisis, being like, I can't put this into the film, but it needs to be in there.
We ruined so many takes.
Because we were just laughing. We just straight up
in the
laughing.
background, we were all sort of like holding our breath, and then as soon as one person went off, and we just didn't expect it. Like, it just came out of nowhere. Things went wrong, but the performances I think were phenomenal.
Yeah, the performances were so good.
Louis did so well.
Louis
he was the most obliging human
profesh.
being.
He would just get out his lines. He was just like do it in one take sort of lad.
Claire was amazing. Like, on that first day, she was so sick. So part of the reason we took so long was because we had to do so many takes because she was so sick and so out of it. But she was such
legend for
pulled,
coming though.
Pushed through.
Yeah,
you know, she gave it a red hot shot.
Also, I just like to say
Call me out.
that Freya has the most amazing weird thing.
The
Like, honestly, that
display
you say it's completely bizarre. But
we
have become like on set jokes.
Is this the display pasta?
One that display pasta.
Colourful pasta. It looks good.
Look,
display
a
pasta.
You can't eat it.
Jar of display pasta just sitting on the bookshelf. Why?
Red hot shot just became a constant.
Let's giggity go.
And like the crew we had was awesome. I think particularly because we haven't really had many other crew people.
No, because
really.
we've all filled the roles.
Yeah,
generally.
we had like another because we had Rashmi. We kind of had just enough to manage, but this time it was really great. Amy did continuity, which was unbelievable because the tree.
The star of the show really was Shelley, the tree costume. So Amy was doing continuity, and she spent most of the time just fixing the branches on Shelley.
Because she'd take
Taping them back
multiple
off.
photos of everything, and then every single take it would be different again. So she'd spend the whole setup of the take just fixing this goddamn tree. Not only that, but then also things to do with like hair. She'd rearrange just random bits of food, and she was just on top of her shit.
Yeah, big thanks to Amy. Big thanks to Daniel for driving everyone around.
gosh.
Absolute legend. Like the roads
Poor
around where we
guy.
filmed are not fun to drive on. Like
Continuity on the second day was actually pretty good in terms of when I was in the editing room. I had mostly trouble with day 3, which was sort of like a impromptu day. So this was done like was like it was like the day before or something.
okay, we planned to shoot all of Andrew's scenes like outside on the first day. But we had no time. Everything went overtime, and then we had no time on the second day as well.
I came down from like up in the Blue Mountains to where Freya lives, which is like a very long
3
trip.
hours.
A very long trip. And then I went all the way home again.
And then I got the footage and was like, hey guys,
There's
his head is
always
missing.
issues.
It would have been fine if it didn't start raining. Because it started raining, we started panicking. We didn't want to get the gear wet, or I didn't want to get the gear wet.
Actually, funnily enough, you can tell in some of the shots that I had to reverse them so that it looked like they were...
Don't tell them that!
So if you look at...
Point of
This is
having
the
this
point.
conversation.
So if you look at the
Reveal
shots
the
of
secret.
Andrew, when he's standing near a door, you can tell like the door sign is backward because I had to flip the shot.
that one shot, they were meant to be looking at each other, and these two areas were actually completely separate.
Yeah.
So we had a really hard time like
we-
matching the island.
we shot
Because
inside the
just, like,
garage.
yeah.
And we had to make it look like it was actually shot outside on the outside wall. Yeah, but overall, I think I really am proud of this film, to be honest. I love it a lot.
I am also really proud of
It
this
was,
film.
yeah.
I think it was a good time.
Yeah.
Such good memories attached to it.
Such good memories. Like it caused me so much stress in the lead up and during the first few hours. Like it made me stress sick to organize this film. But I'm so proud of it.
Yeah.
Proud of how it turned out.
Ditto.
Slight change of setup. I'm unorganized and I left one of the batteries on charge for the camera, so the battery has run out. Next film is business as usual, semi-usual. It'll be kind of low-key because Ashlyn is leaving the country in 2 weeks and I'm leaving the country in like 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So
The
there's
sad times.
Limited crew. once again.
limited crew. However, quick PSA, so after that, we may or may not be taking a bit of a hiatus, a 6-month brief hiatus. It's a little up in the air.
Yeah.
However, we will definitely be back once me and Ashlyn are back in Australia after global exchange.
So you can check out our film if you haven't already seen it. Link in the description. Also, our
Check out
behind the
those-
scenes stuff.
Oh my gosh,
Those
yes.
behind the scenes
Actually.
like
Watch
audio.
it.
Though, check out the other team's films. They're amazing, and
Yeah.
we will see you in our next film, next BTS. Have a lovely day.
Lovely
Thank you for
day.
watching. Bye.
Bye.